Hello everybody, welcome to the Class 3 presentation about chickens. Let's dive right into it. So, the anatomy of a chicken. You can see this is a picture of the basic anatomy. So starting from the top up, you have the comb and the wattles. Those are the red fleshy parts you'll see on a chicken. Those are used to help control their temperature. They help it cool off when it's warm and warm up when it's cold. The beak they use to eat their food. Eyes and ears, we know what those are for. The back is that's their back feathers. The hackles are like a type of feather that goes over their neck. Crop, it's on the right side only, and it's an organ where it's like a second stomach. Their food goes there first before they digest it, so they can digest it as they want. And then you have the tail feathers and the vent where they lay their eggs. So roosters versus hens. How can you tell the difference between a rooster and a hen? So this picture is a good demonstration. The hen, which is the female chickens, on the left and the roosters on the right. So the hens have the smaller comb and wattle. If you'll remember from anatomy, that's the big red fleshy lobe parts on their head. Roosters that have a larger and brighter comb and wattle. They also tend to be more colorful, and you can see the hackles, these neck feathers, are longer and pointier on the roosters. So chicken breeds, they come in all different types of breeds with different size combs, different feather types, and different purposes. Some are for meat, some are for eggs, some are for warm environments, some are for cold. You can see here there's some different breeds. The Silkies were the last one, they're very fluffy. The Brahmas, you can see they have the fluffy legs. The Dukals, they have the silly face, and they're all different colors and feather types. So poultry. People often use the term poultry and chicken interchangeably, but they don't actually mean the same thing. So a poultry is any type of bird that you've tamed. So all chickens are poultry, but not all poultry has to be a chicken. So for example, here we have a guinea hen. It's a type of poultry, it's a tamed bird, but we can definitely tell this is not a chicken. So what do chickens eat? So in the wild, they'll forage for their diet. They're omnivores, which means they eat plants and animals. So they'll eat small bugs, any plants, seeds, fruits, anything they can get their hands on, even snakes and small rodents. And then commercially, they'll eat diets mainly consisting of grain, like corn. Their favorite type of things to eat are a varied diet of what they would normally eat, bugs and fruits and stuff. And they can eat almost any type of kitchen scrap, except potatoes, onions, garlic, and citrus. So where did chickens come from? So chickens originally started as a fowl. Fowl is just another word for bird, like a wild fowl in the jungles of Asia. This one pictured as a red jungle fowl. And over hundreds of years, farmers slowly domesticated these birds into the chickens we know and love today. So can chickens fly? Even though they are birds, they can't fly. Their wings are too small and their body's too heavy to fly. You know, if you think about it, that makes sense, because if they came from the jungle, there wouldn't be a lot of room to fly, since there's trees everywhere. They are very good jumpers, even if they can't fly. They can jump up to 6 feet in the air and like 20 feet vertically, or horizontally, rather. So, chickens in the winter. How do you keep chickens in the winter? So for the most part, they'll be fine as long as they have a dry, wind-free coop and water that isn't frozen. They're good up to negative 20 degrees. And breeds with smaller combs and wattles are better in the winter as they have less area exposed to the sun, because the feathers keep them warm, so the bigger non-feathered areas are, the colder they get. And then contrarily in the summer, the bigger the comb and wattle, the more area that they have that'll help them cool down. What about eggs? So most chicken breeds lay around 200 or 250 eggs a year. In order for the eggs to hatch, they need to be fertilized by a rooster. If they're fertilized, they'll need a broody hen. That's the word for when a hen tries and hatch the eggs. She'll sit on them for weeks until they hatch, and then she'll take them around and raise them. She'll teach them everything they need to know how to survive. And there's also ways for you to raise your chicks without having to have a mother hen. They need a special pen called a brooder box, as well as a specific baby chicken food, clean water, and a heat lamp to keep them warm like their mother would by sitting on them in the nest. So what eats chickens? Well, everything really. Foxes, raccoons, weasels, hawks, dogs, pretty much any carnivore. will eat your chickens, but there are ways to keep them safe, like keeping them inside of a fenced area, supervising them when they're running free, that kind of stuff. So perching. What is perching? So, in the wild, because there's so many things that eat chickens, they have to develop some sort of defenses against that, and one of them is perching. So at night, instead of sleeping on the ground where they'd be easy prey, they'll sleep up in the trees where things can't get to them. And that's a really deep instinct within them. They really do not feel safe at night if they can't do that, so when you're keeping them in a coop, you want to make sure they have some raised sticks like these little chickens have here to sleep on so they'll feel comfortable. And how much space do chickens need? They love room to run free and play, so they'll be happy with as much space as you give them. But generally the minimum recommended is 10 inches of perching space, so 10 inches of a sleeping bar for them at night, 10 inches of feeder space, 4 square feet of coop space, and 8 square feet of run space. The coop is a small lockable building where they sleep at night, that's what's pictured here, and the run is any size area that is fenced around it and sometimes over it to keep it safe from predators that they can safely live in. So that concludes my presentation on chickens. Take note because we will be going over this and then some next week, so have a nice day everyone.